Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I wanted to talk for a second about something that I just saw. A report basically where WikiLeaks has released more of those really ugly Sony emails, and one of the emails they just uncovered has to do with the actor Ben Affleck, as well as Professor Henry Louis Gates, who's at Harvard University. And in the emails, and in the many news reports, it's being alleged that Gates had a conversation with a Sony executive. I believe his name was Michael Linton. And they were talking about Ben Affleck and the fact that Affleck objected to the inclusion of information about his ancestors in Henry Lewis's report, because as you know, Gates makes his money from PBS by helping people trace their roots. Many of these people are not black. Some of them are black, and it's a nice show. I don't watch it that much, but I do think that knowing your roots can be helpful. Anyway, so Gates is emailing this guy and basically asking him, what do I do about this? This violates Sony's rules. If it were revealed that I censored the information, it could affect my integrity and Affleck's integrity. And the guy was basically saying that if a lot of people don't know, if there's not any knowledge out there that you did this, then then it's okay. But if people know, then he said it could get tricky, which means you might get caught. And Gates said that a lot of people know, and so I don't know what the final decision was. I didn't see the episode. I'm going to look and see if I can find it. But I thought it was a very interesting conversation. Now, first, to give you the quick background, I've always liked Ben Affleck as an actor. I think he's very talented. I've always gotten the sense that when it comes to his relationship with the black community, that it must be good. But then again, I don't know the guy personally. Henry Louis Gates, don't know him personally, but I don't think he's a big fan of mine, because I actually asked a lot of questions during his little police run in that he probably wasn't comfortable with, because honestly, I kind of felt that maybe Gates could have handled that situation differently, and I certainly didn't think it was worth the president's attention to talk about one Harvard professor being stopped by a cop when there are black men down the street being shot by cops, and Mr. Gates almost never has anything to say about that. Again, he's more pro-establishment. I'm more anti-establishment. That's why he and I will probably, never, if ever, well, maybe there'll be an opportunity for us to sit down one day and talk, but I doubt it, because I think people like him kind of look at people like me and they don't want anything to do with people like me, because we're always ruffling things up. When I get around white people, I usually get kicked out of the room. So Henry Louis Gates gets invited in. That's why we're different kinds of people. But it doesn't mean he's a sellout or anything. It just means he's more comfortable in certain spaces. And so maybe it's my job to tell the truth, or to say the things that maybe he can't say from the position that he's in. Now, the thing that's interesting about this email to me as well is, I don't appreciate the fact that Gates was even having this conversation, and that he was somehow looking for advice from this Sony guy on whether or not he was going to violate his integrity or not. Again, maybe it's the pressure of Ben Affleck asking you to do a favor. Maybe you're weighing the pros and the cons, but I think that we have to really think about the fact that number one, email can get out if you're not careful, and then number two, it almost seems that Gates could have been convinced to sweep this under the rug, and I certainly wouldn't have appreciated that, and I also think it could be very embarrassing to him if he were to get caught, which I think he understands that. But I also got a sense that Gates didn't really want to do it. I felt like he was trying to look for an opportunity for this guy to tell him, you look, don't do it, don't violate your integrity, it's okay. So but now again, I don't know why he needed this guy's permission, or what he was looking for from this person in order to do what he felt was right. But then again, he is who he is. I can't explain that. Now, the last thing I want to throw in about this is that Ben Affleck's alleged cover-up. First of all, with Affleck, I don't know how it makes any sense. I mean, Ben, if people like you, they're going to like you. If they don't like you, they're not going to like you. It doesn't have anything to do with what your ancestors did. That's not you. That's not you. And I think that it really speaks to the idea that many, many whites somehow feel that when we point out what your ancestors did to us, when your ancestors lynched us, beat us, castrated us, used our babies for alligator bait, put gunpowder inside black people's inside a slave's body, and blew them up in front of his family, raped men in front of their sons to emasculate them. When we talk about what your ancestors did to us, stole all of our wealth, did all kinds of other horrible things, would invite their little kids to come watch us get lynched. When we talk about what your ancestors did, we're not talking about what you did. But we are talking about the fact that America does owe a debt to the black community, because the things that have been done to us have been beyond horrendous. They have been some of the most destructive social, political, and economic mechanisms in the history of the world. And so, how do you think that we can live like that for several hundred years and then spend 30 years not doing it and act like it never happened? That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. And so when I saw what Ben did, on one hand, I'm thinking, okay, I understand why you might have felt the pressure to have this erased from the record. I personally, if I were Ben Affleck and I'm trying to protect my Batman image because he's about to be in the movie Batman, I wouldn't even do the interview. I would just say, you know what, I don't even want to do this because of the risk of it all. But if you're going to do it, you need to make sure the truth comes out because to some extent, Ben's resistance, his denial, his fight against the negative image that might come with owning up to what his ancestors did, it's reflective of what all of white America kind of does. A lot of black history is swept under the rug. A lot of white history is swept under the rug. People need to go and really study what's been done in this country. There are lots of things that whites have done in America that are just flat out admirable. I mean, achieving the economic power that they've achieved has come through a lot of hard work, a lot of tenacity, a lot of conviction. But it's also come from a lot of criminality, a lot of savagery, and a lot of just flat out violent destruction of yourselves and of other people. And if people don't acknowledge both sides of that equation, then you're really telling a big old lie. And part of the reason America can't move forward when it comes to race is because we keep living off this damn lie. You keep lying about things that happened in the past. You keep lying about the fact that your ancestors did own our ancestors. You keep lying about the fact that the wealth disparity in America exists because for hundreds of years, white people took our money. They took everything from us. They took our land. They took our assets. They took everything that we had of value that we could have passed down to our children. And as a result, our kids have nothing. So stop telling, because here's the thing. When you tell one lie, it leads to another lie. The first lie is that none of this happened, that we always treated you pretty well. Yeah, we held you as slaves, but we let you go, and now we love you. That's the first lie. But the second lie leads to the first lie leads to the second lie. The second lie is the reason black people ain't got nothing is because y'all niggas are just lazy. Y'all don't want to work hard as white people. You're not as honest as white people. You just don't want to get ahead. And your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, they didn't have nothing to leave you because they just didn't want it. They didn't want it as bad as we did. They didn't work as hard. They weren't as disciplined. They weren't as determined. They weren't as responsible for their community. So the reason that I can walk down the street in Manhattan and every single building that I see on that street is owned by a white person. Pretty much all of them owned by white people or foreigners, one of the two. And none of them are owned by black people. It's not because black people were lazy and black people threw away their money and black people were didn't want something. It was because we wanted something, we fought for something, and you took it. You took it. So please stop lying. Stop pretending like it didn't happen. So Ben, this is not about you, brother. And I say brother because Ben seems pretty cool. I like Ben Affleck, actually. I'm probably going to see Batman. But stop the lying, man. I mean, this is stupid. That's why we can't move. You want racial healing, but you think it's not simple like the rapper Common when he went on TV and said that stuff about, we need to extend the hand in love. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Common. I shouldn't have done that. I'm not making fun of him. But that's stupid. I mean, that's crazy. The idea is crazy. Now, again, a smart person can have stupid ideas. Sometimes I say things that are stupid. When Common said that, he's a smart man. He's a great man. He's a brilliant actor, a brilliant rapper. But what he said that day, I was like, man, brother, they've done put you on some drugs. They have fed you the silly juice right now because what you're saying needs to just be kept in your pocket. The whole idea of believing that we can move forward, that we can achieve racial healing by extending a hand in love or holding hands and singing "We Shall Overcome" or acting like the past did not happen, as Mr. Affleck is kind of doing in his own life. The fact that we think we can move forward by doing those things is ridiculous. The only way you can move forward to the future and achieve racial healing is with responsibility, accountability, accuracy, and telling the truth about what happened in America. So, Mr. Gates, make sure that when Ben Affleck's episode comes out, that it is that you reveal the information in its entirety. This Sony exec, I'm definitely curious about his integrity, but then again, I'm sure a lot of these Hollywood types have very little integrity. That's why they put out those buffoonish movies and TV shows about black people making us look like criminals and thugs so that we can get shot in the street by cops. And Mr. Affleck, your ancestors have nothing to do with you, but your ancestors may have left a debt that your people are forced to repay, and I encourage you to own up to that and realize that we're not going to hate you because of it, but I will hate you if you keep telling lies. So that's all. Well, you know what? I'm not going to hate nobody, but I'm going to be very disappointed with you if you keep telling lies. because we need to stop the lying. That's all I want to say. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. By the way, we have a new film coming out called Resurrecting Black Wall Street. I hope you will support it. Again, it's about telling the truth. The film talks about the Black Wall Street Massacre, where affluent black people were killed, were murdered in the street, and incarcerated, and had their homes looted, and everything stolen from them, and no reparations were paid. No one was ever convicted for what happened, and I really want to dig that back up so we can talk about this from a truthful standpoint. So it's a huge conversation. It's something that thousands of people are really getting behind it, and I hope you'll support the new documentary. You can check it out, or the trailer. Check out the trailer, and I hope you also financially support, because we could use that money. We will put it toward building in our community. The site is resurrectingblackwallstreet.com. That's resurrectingblackwallstreet.com. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I am out.